Now, the head teacher at the center of the drowning of 9 pupils at St. Charles Lewanga RC Junior High School in the Saboba districts of the Northern Region has been remanded by the Tamale Magistrate Court. Emmanuel Chenjia took the children allegedly to harvest rice on his farm across the Uti River last Friday. One of the 2 boats which they were crossing the river with capsized, leading to the death of the pupils. Northern Regional correspondent Martina Bugri joins us live with more on what transpired in court. Martina, first of all, this particular head teacher was said to be traumatized. How did he look like in court today?
In court, his head into stage while the charges were being read. He had an unassuming posture and he looked tense at the proceedings, and once in a while would bow the head and then raise up, and then he continued through the proceedings, and then after the case was done, he was moved into the police vehicle and then sent back to prison.
So what has he been charged with?
He's been charged for manslaughter. In court today, the state prosecutor read the charges, and it all summed up to manslaughter. They were charging him for manslaughter for the death of the 9 students.
Did he speak in court today?
No, he didn't speak. It is his lawyer who spoke, and he says that they do not agree with they do not support the charges of manslaughter leveled against his client. He had made his arguments and also made the fact that the head teacher himself had handed over himself to the police, and so it was just fair that he was granted bail. The lawyer for the state disagreed and said that once proceedings were still on, the investigations was ongoing, it was just fair that they allow the state to be able to have ample time to do the investigation. And the judge who presided over the case, His Worship Ahmadi Isiku, agreed and said that he'd be remanded into prison custody to reappear on the 29th of this month. He didn't give reasons why he was remanded.
Okay. So the background to the story that we've heard, in terms of him taking the children to harvest rice on his farm, was that repeated in court?
Yes, those were part of the charges that were read in court, that he had sent so he had selected some children on the 11th, and on the 12th they had gone to the farm to harvest the rice, and the children were dispatched back to Saboba, while the head teacher had gone to thank the people who had given him the land, but he got to the river bank and met the disaster that had happened. And they said that he called the assemblyman to tell him what had happened, and the assemblyman invited the village folk, and he came to the river bank to help rescue the children. But it was safe. 9 of them had gone.
So I take it that they didn't take his plea?
No, his plea was not taken, and the plea for him to grant his bail was not taken.
Okay. Martina, just a little reminder again, when is the next court appearance?
Till 29th of November.
All right. Martina, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Martina Bugri, our correspondent in Tamale, bringing us up to speed on this matter of the head teacher who had sent about 31 of his school children to harvest rice on his farm. He's been remanded into police custody, and police is still investigating the matter. Well, the district chief executive for Saboba, George Bengrini, says the district security council will be convening a meeting with teachers in the district to halt the practice of engaging pupils to turn their farms. He emphasized that any teacher caught flouting the law will be dealt with accordingly.
It has never come to my notice to the fact that students have been crossing River Oti to help their teachers in the farm. This is the first time I've heard of it, and this is the first time this thing has happened. And so Assembly do not have any information to the fact that students have been crossing River Oti to farms. But we know that most of our farmers here have their farms across the river. As I talk to you now, I have asked the director of GES to summon a teacher's deba on Wednesday next week. All the teachers are expected to be in that deba. And I am going to be very emphatic with them. I am going to tell them any teacher that will take even one student to his farm. If you are taking a student to farm, go and meet the parents. If the parents give you that opportunity to take his child or her child to farm, that is to you and the parents. But for teachers to take students from school to farm, any teacher that will be found doing this will be sanctioned. The head teacher that took the students to farm yesterday, as you indicated, is currently at the police custody. And I can bet you that we are going to use him to set as an example for others to learn lessons. It has never come to my notice to the